what to do. Well, actually, I might have some girlies, and it's your first time on here. You need to like, you need to comment, you need to subscribe, you need to hit the Bizella She's Dope .pod if you didn't know. Now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Yeah. And if you didn't notice, she's solo. That's right. I said it. I'm solo. And guys, I'm low-key tweaking. I am tweaking out because let me tell you how my past 8 episodes, I said I'm going to have a guest because I wanted to hide because I didn't want to do this solo. I literally just was like, put me in a corner. I'm not doing it. I don't know what to tell you guys, but the Lord, he dragged me for filth. Y'all know I talk about my edges often on here. And so he dragged the edges that I barely have. And he said, you need to get, okay, not they're laughing in the background. He dragged the edges that I barely have. And he said, you need to do this for the girlies. And so this one is for the girlies. The next couple episodes, I'll be solo. And I might sometimes have a guest, but I want you to know you could do what God is calling you to do. And so me having a guest, those were great, but low key, it was a cop out. You ever have a moment in your life where you just cop out, you be hiding? That's why I'm here. Look at me. This is new, talking to the camera, but I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself. My energy's a little bit, because I feel you got to get to know me. We are going to become family. I don't know if we should call each other sisters because we're the girlies or cousins. I think I like sisters. We're sisters. And so I got to tell my sisters about myself. So if you didn't know, I am from Pennsylvania. That's right. Allentown, PA, 610. You already know what it is. I am from Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's in between New Jersey, Philadelphia, New York City. It's all the good stuff. It is the best place before you get to the bigger cities. And if you know, you know. But the only thing we have in Allentown is an amusement park called Donny Park, crickets, and gas stations. And so that's where I'm from, but I'm grateful. I have a mom and my dad, and I know they're going to watch this. I have a mom and a dad. See, my nerves got me. I said a mom and my dad. I have a mom and my dad, and they're going to watch this. And listen, mom, dad, I'm just going to warn you. You might need to cut it off, but I'm going to keep it real on here. And so you might learn some new things about me as well. But I have 2 brothers. I have 1 sister. And so I consider myself the middle child. And I had Gabby on my last episode, and we talked about middle children. And that joint, low key, for me was rough as a kid. And so if you are a middle child, I want you to put this in the comments and say, hey, Tay, I feel you. You're not alone, okay? And so what I've learned about being a middle child is I didn't have much of a voice. It wasn't really like someone forced me to not have a voice. I just felt like I didn't really know who I was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had my older sister, love her to death. She's into fashion. She was so confident. I looked up to her so much, still do. And then I had a younger brother who was like, I don't know who's the popular football player. What's his name? The quarterback. Mahomes. I think that's his name. But my brother was like, he was that guy. But you know what's crazy? My brother didn't even play quarterback. I think he was like running back or like a wide receiver. But he was like known for football. And so I was just the middle child that got good grades. And whatever my parents said, I just said, you know what? I'm going to honor them. And low key, I was just kind of scared of everything. So I just like to play it safe. Do I have any girlies in my chat that just like to play it safe? I like to play it safe. So everything I would do, I would ask my parents. I wouldn't do too much because fear literally just crippled me, you know, like reasons why I was doing my podcast with guests, because I was like, no one wants to hear what Tay has to say. But the Lord said, child, he said it to me just like that, please. And so here I am, and I want to talk to my girlies about fear. But before I get in fear and losing my voice, I want to talk to y'all about a breakup. I want to talk to you about a breakup where I realized me losing my voice was like, it was really, really bad. And so let me turn it up, okay? Mom and dad, log off, okay? And so I met this guy. I met him in high school, and I remember it like it was yesterday. We were at a basketball game. I was on one side of the court. He was on the other side of the court. He had dreads at the time, and I really was into the dreadheads at the time, but I got a boo now, so like clearly my change has changed. But he had dreads at the time. We were making eye contact. I saw him, he saw me. Girls, you know what I'm talking about when you be seeing him, but you be not trying to do too much. But I was very much like, I'm that girl, so he's gonna come to me. I'm never coming to him, and that's exactly what happened. So after the game, he pulled up on me. He pulled up on me and he was like, I've never seen you before. And I was like, my name is Taylor. Mind you, what's crazy is he went to school with my sister. So yeah, I was getting him like, he was older. And so he was like, I've never seen you before. I was like, yeah, Hannah's my sister. Mind you, I was like, I had glasses and I had the straight back braid. So I wasn't really giving, but hey, he was with it. And so we exchanged numbers and we started talking. I never told my mom and my dad. So till this day, I think my parents still think that I've always been single. Like literally my current boo is like an answered prayer because I know my parents are like, they were wondering. But I just kept everything to myself. I wasn't the one to be telling my mom, bop, 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 bop. But we started talking, but here's the real tea. And some of y'all can relate to this because I know I got a girly who's like, this is me. We started talking heavy. I mean, we was going steady. Oh my gosh, have you heard that? We was going steady, but I wasn't actually his girlfriend. Yeah, gas. How embarrassing. I wasn't actually his girlfriend, but I was doing all of the things that girlfriends kind of do. And so have you ever found yourself in a place where you're like doing the thing of a girlfriend, but you actually don't have a title? Well, that's when I realized my confidence was kind of duped because I was just doing whatever. But it was the first guy that I ever talked to that made me feel seen. It's quiet in here. Seen. He made me feel seen. And so I was like, oh, this is new. And I don't know if me and God were like, I got saved at a young age. And if you don't know what that means I accepted Jesus in my heart. Right? And so me and God were like a thing, but like, I don't know if I was really checking for him in high school. I was like into this dude. And so whatever he said, I was like kind of with. And so I was the type of girl like, you know, oh my gosh, mom and dad, please log off. I have to keep it real for my girlies on here because I need my girlies to understand that it's okay if you fall short. But I started like settling in some ways, you know. I really started settling in some ways, filling the points. You know what I'm trying to say? Start doing things that I said I wouldn't do, but because I wanted him to like see me. And I felt like if I gave up those things, if I did those things, he would love me more. So as you know, this kind of turned into like a hood love story because we dated from high school. Well, it's not really dating. If they're not your boyfriend, is it considered dating? Put it in the chat. Is it considered dating if they're not your boyfriend, but you guys are going steady? We ain't going steady. I'm not gonna say the rest. If you know the song, you know. But we were going steady and we talked from high school and then I got to college and I was being faithful to this man in college. Mind you, your girl had no title. Mind you, my parents were still saying, is Tay single or what? What does she have going on? But I wasn't telling no one anything. But I don't know if it was love. I don't know if it was love or it was just I liked having him around. But we continued to date or whatever. And then I found out that he was cheating. But is it cheating if we were not boyfriend and girlfriend? You know what I'm saying? So that tells you where I was at. So he was talking to another girl. And guess what? I was holding him down all through college. And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. I was on some like, I'll bust the window out your car. And though it didn't mend my broken heart. And I was up at Penn State weeping. I was being so faithful, so loyal to this guy because I felt like God didn't have anything better for me. And it was in this relationship when I realized how much I struggled with finding my voice, right? And it all stems back to my childhood of not feeling like how do I say it? Like my voice mattered. And so what I learned in that relationship is like my voice did matter, but it took me a long time to confidently like leave him and believe that God had something better for me. And so when I said I was going to do this first episode, I'm like, this one's for the girlies because I got a lot of girlfriends and child. Let me tell you how these nephews be having us in a chokehold. Well, I can't say me because like I got a booski now, and like I like put God first, and I believe God put me first then. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, I be talking to my girlfriends, and the guys be having the girlies in a chokehold because the girlies really just don't really know who they are. And that is like, I get that. And that's why I had to get on this this is why this podcast exists, because I feel like we really do have a responsibility to figure out who God calls us to be. And let me tell you how this man was telling me who I was. I don't even know if that's good, if that was right grammar, but like he was telling me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was telling me like this and that. And he used to get on Twitter. Let me tell you what he used to do on Twitter. And it really used to fire me up. And this is when my confidence went to the ground. It was basura. And I'm still recovering. I am still recovering. That's why it matters who you date. It matters who you talk to, because I believe it low-key prolongs your process and what God is trying to do. And so on Twitter, I used to be on Twitter like ding, 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 ding. And I used to be like, be on Twitter because I wanted to get his attention. And it was the only place that I could get his attention. And so we weren't dating, mind you. So I'm like tweeting. He's tweeting. He was like a jokester. Like everyone loved him in our hometown. Like he was that guy. But here's the tea, ladies. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't trying to knock him, but he wasn't giving what it needed to give. And that's what's crazy. He wasn't giving what it needed to give. If I really told you what he was on, like, he didn't even have a job. He didn't have a job. He didn't have a job. And I was over here like, I'm about to be faithful. We're about to get married. Like just settling left and right. But on Twitter, he would say stuff like, I'm never going to marry a black girl. Mind you, I'm black. And yes, I have healed. Yes, I have given it to the Lord. Yes, he has restored me. But that really fired me up. I will never marry a black girl. Black girls who wear natural hair are like whatever that is, that he was dogging the black girls in their hair. Like, coarse hair is this, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not. I love being black and I love all people. Okay, so hear me when I say this. I don't even know if I can say this, so I'm not even going to say this. You know, we're not even going to say it. But he wasn't like the cream of the crop, if that's, there we go. He wasn't the cream of the crop. And so because I didn't know like who God was calling me to be, he was telling me. And so my perspective about myself was tainted. And you know what's crazy? As a kid, I legit thought I was fly. That's what's crazy. As a kid, I was like, oh, I'm like kind of cute. Like I used to look in the mirror and be like, glasses and all, like I'm giving what it needs to give. Like I used to wear the puff all the time. My edges were intact, honey. I got the pictures to show it. And so like I really felt like good about myself. And then this guy came and he wrecked it like a wrecking ball. He came and wrecked me like a wrecking ball because I just didn't know who God was calling me to be. And so that is why I had to get on here for this podcast, because I feel like so many of my girlies are struggling with their identity and they're struggling with who God is calling them to be. And I don't think for the rest of my life, I think I'll tell the girlies, like, you got to figure out who God is calling you to be, because it is pivotal. And now I'm entering into a stage of life where I think because I really don't know, but like I kind of feel like I know, like I'm going to be getting married. No, I don't have a ring yet. That's what's crazy. But I'm like, I wonder how much quicker life, like God would have done his thing if I just would have yielded to God. And yielding is like just letting go of what I think. You know what I mean? So I went through so many seasons with that guy where I really thought this was the best that God could give me. Ain't that crazy? I told you he wasn't the cream of the crop. He had no job, right? But the part that was hard was like, it was really a reflection of what I believed about myself. And so that's why this podcast is important, because we're going to be talking about all the things, right? And you know I'm a challenge, y'all, because if you don't follow me on Instagram, _IamTay_, you know I love to tell you have a responsibility to do something, because I really was that girly, and Uncle Will literally crushed my dreams, I thought if you loved God, there was no work you had to put in. I kid you not, my whole like belief system shattered in front of my eyes. So I believe we have a responsibility to do something with everything that God has given us. And so on this podcast, I'm always going to challenge you to do something with the things that the Lord has given me. And we really just going to keep it real and keep it honest. You know what I'm saying? And so the moral of this story is, don't let fear, don't let fear keep you bound. Don't let fear keep you bound. And also what I learned in that relationship is you have to get to the root of things. You know, in my childhood, like my voice, I told y'all my voice was the issue that I struggled with because I didn't feel like God saw me because I was the middle child and I felt like the black sheep, and I felt like I only get good grades. That's nothing. But as crazy as it sounds, is God really does uniquely design you, and God uniquely designed me. And what I love about God is he works all things together for our good. So even the things that are like ick, because some things that we do be ick, God still works it out. And so the root was childhood, really not believing that God cared about me or loved me and that my voice mattered. So when I started dating Icky Boy, we're going to call him Icky Boy, Icky Stinky Boy, Icky Stinky Boy, I legit thought that I just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And so I hope that y'all ride with me. Do you want to ride? That's not a song, but I thought it was. But I want y'all to ride with me for real. And I want us to have honest conversations. So this is what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to drop in the chat some things you're struggling with, right? Because those are topics that we can talk about on the episodes. Because now it's just me and you. We up and stuck. We are sisters. We stand together. We make up one big family, and I don't know the words, but that's what we will be. We will be the girlies. We will be sisters, and you know, I'm going to give you a responsibility. And so this is episode 9 of She's Dope Pod, and you know what you need to do. You need to be obedient to what the Lord is telling you to do. So like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell. And also, this is what I really want you to do. I want you to share it with one of your girlies who needs to hear this. A friend that you feel like, and I'm talking to the girlies, I'm not talking to my nephews. A friend that you feel like is struggling with her voice or is in a relationship or a situationship that has her up and stuck. Let her know this is the place for her. Let her know this is the place where she could be herself. Let her hair down. I don't got my hair out today, but I do be having it out. And so this is the place. And so that is episode 9 on Smooth She's Dope Pod.